Namaskar viewers, welcome to Sunset TV. I am Namrata Singh and you are watching Explained, the show where we take up key topics and understand how artificial intelligence, progressing faster than ever, is shaping India with insights from domain experts. So India has taken a decisive step towards shaping a safe, inclusive and human-centric AI future. The Government of India's AI Governance Guidelines 2025 mark a bold leap, placing innovation, accountability and trust at the very core of our AI ecosystem. At a time when the world is debating over the risks and rewards of the artificial intelligence, India has chosen a path rooted in clarity, balance and cultural grounding. This policy sees AI not just as something to regulate, but as an opportunity to empower citizens, businesses and innovators without slowing down innovation. This is not just another policy. It is a statement of intent that India will lead in building AI that is safe, fair and human-centric. The guidelines were formally unveiled by Professor Ajay Kumar Sood, Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India, in the presence of senior leadership from the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, among others. So to understand what this means for enterprises, developers and everyday users and how it supports secure and responsible AI adoption, we have a very special guest on our show today. I am delighted to welcome Professor Ajay Kumar Sood, Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India, who plays a pivotal role in the India AI mission. He is also the chairperson of the Prime Minister's Science, Technology and Innovation Advisory Council. Professor Sood, thank you so much for joining us and welcome to Sunset TV, sir.
Thank you very much.
Sir, since you are the key figure in implementing the India AI mission and you're also played a key role in shaping India's national AI strategy and governance framework. And now these AI governance guidelines mark a big leap, placing innovation, accountability and trust at the very core of the AI ecosystem.
Yes.
So before we begin into the finer details of the guidelines, I'd like to understand from you India's overall approach to AI governance and at a strategic level, how do you see AI accelerating India's development, not just technologically, but on social and economic inclusion?
Let me start by quoting our Honorable Prime Minister, what is said in AI Summit in Paris in 2025. And I think it's a very powerful statement. He said that AI is writing the code for humanity in this century.
Right.
Actually, it says that very clearly that this is a technology empowerment which will affect all sectors and all societies.
Okay.
So India is very well aware of the AI potential for socio-economic development which will be impacted by AI, and at the same time be aware of the possible risks. So you have to do this balance between the benefits of AI, how it will enable our society to go to the next level of development. At the same time, you cannot underestimate the risks, the misinformation, all the algorithmic biases,
right,
national security concerns. So this is something which our national AI governance framework looks at.
Okay, absolutely. Balance needs to be maintained, and sir, you have always advocated for safe and trusted AI, which our Prime Minister also says. But in today's world, we are still debating on how much AI should be regulated, how much freedom it should be given to grow. So, what were the guiding visions with which this drafting process began, and so what was the basically core philosophy behind this?
Yeah, so the core philosophy was that AI should do no harm.
Right.
No harm, quote unquote, is the guiding principle. Now with that, we need to see what we need to put in place so that we can tap the potential of AI, be it in finance sector, be it in agriculture, be it in science and engineering, be it in healthcare.
Healthcare.
All these things but at the same time keeping the fundamental principle of no harm to the humans. Now, that was the guiding principle which we had when we started the deliberations, and we had a subcommittee which was chaired, which was having all the experts to really make a framework.
Okay.
So, our guiding principle was no harm, at the same time do not hurt innovation.
Right.
So, these are the two things which we kept in our mind.
Okay. So, basically it's do no harm as well as do not stifle the innovation.
Yeah.
Right. And also in this guidelines there are 7 sutras which are mentioned.
Yes.
So, sir, if for our viewers, if you could explain what do these sutras collectively aim at and what do they promote?
So, 7 sutras actually capture whatever is the essence of AI.
Right.
Our 7 sutras were trust, which means trust is very fundamental for innovation. Without trust, you can't have innovation. Then we had people first.
Right.
The human interest to be kept first. Then the third sutra was innovation over restraint. As I mentioned, don't be paranoid with all the possible risks and so on. So, you make laws which will stifle the innovation.
Right.
So, that should not be the case. That is the third very important sutra. And the fourth one was fairness and equity, which means it has to be equitable. All sections of society, it cannot have a divide. It should serve all. Then we have accountability, which means whatever AI tells us, is it accountable? Do we understand why it has come?
Right.
Whatever it is saying, do we understand why it is giving the response which it is giving?
Okay.
So, it has to be accountable. Then we have to have understandable by design.
Okay.
Which means again it should be explainable, it should be understandable, it should not be a black box approach. So, as much as possible we should do that. And then safety and resilience and sustainability. So, if you look at all these things, these are technology agnostic.
Okay.
And sector neutral, all these.
Okay.
But if you ask me, of course all 7 are important, but supposing I need to pick 1 or 2.
Right, that was my next question.
Right? I know that people think 7 are too much.
Right.
Actually, it's all 7 are important, let me say. So, it's like when you have 7 babies, you don't know which one to
won't be able to pick one.
But if to prioritize, let me call it that way, not preference, it will be people first.
Okay.
That would be a very key point. And the second, as I mentioned earlier, innovation over restraint, which means India's commitment to innovation is paramount. And we need to encourage our innovation ecosystem, science and technology people, all the sectors, to make sure that they can really tap the full potential of AI. So, and we will not have the hanging sword of control all the time.
Right.
It will be used when it is necessary, only depending on what is the nature of the risk and in what is the sector in which it is there, because there are many sectors where risks are not equal. In agriculture sector, risk could be different than the health sector. So, we can't be having the same controls in all the sectors.
So, every sectors will have a different sort of a control.
There is not, I will not call control.
Okay.
It will be the governance guidelines.
Okay.
So, we are not calling it a regulation.
Okay.
We are calling it a governance framework where we say that, look, this is what we want to achieve in terms of serving a bigger goal for the society. But at the same time, you cannot wash your hands off from the risks which are many times unintentional, but many times intentional also. So we have to take care of that.
Absolutely. So basically these guidelines are governance guidelines, not regulatory guidelines.
Not regulatory guidelines.
That is very important to mention.
Yeah. So that's something which we should say very, very clearly. So as you rightly said, these are guidelines. These are not regulation. So now we have to see how it is done in practice, because now it has been launched and there is a very good acceptance of what we have put out, because this framework was not made in a day. Actually the draft guidelines were put on the website, Mighty website, and we invited the comments from public, and you will be happy to know that people reacted very positively to that, and we had almost like more than 1,000 comments on this. 600 to 1,000 depending on how, whether you can club them together. And then we had a subcommittee which looked at all of this, and we have put a framework where we have said, okay, if this thing is there, there is already something else happening by another guidelines, and so on. So it's not that this is the answer for every question you will have, but it will guide you to know what can be done and what is our thinking process, government's thinking.
So sir, since you mentioned about the risks, so you know, this document also acknowledges AI's massive benefits but also risks, like from deep fakes to misinformation to algorithm bias and national security, as you already mentioned. So what was the toughest trade-off you know, during drafting of these guidelines? Protecting citizens from the risks or ensuring innovation isn't restricted?
Yeah, so again, as I mentioned, see, what you need to see, you have to assess what is the risk we are talking about. There are genuine risks and there are imaginary risks. Thinking this could happen and so on. They are not wrong, but we have to be aware what is really happening, what risk we are talking about. So what we were very conscious that we should not over constrain the process, because otherwise the innovation will get killed. Right now we have enormous potential of AI in all sectors, as I mentioned. Now if you over regulate, we will kill it. Now we were conscious of that, and we were at the same time are also aware there are national security concerns, because AI in cyber security is a big thing, and cyber security for AI is also a big thing. So this is a two-way thing, AI for cyber security and cyber security for AI. All this has to be kept in mind, but without getting overwhelmed by the possible harm AI can do. So I will just again say, do not be overwhelmed with it, but at the same time don't be complacent about it.
Definitely, don't be complacent about this. Sir, also since you mentioned that you had taken suggestions, the committee had taken suggestions, multiple suggestions from public as well, multiple stakeholders. I'm sure you must have studied several global AI frameworks before arriving to the final draft. So what were the most valuable lessons you learned from these global you know, models, which were you know, which were to be implemented in India, and what you thought that we won't be you know, able to implement in India?
Actually, if you look at the document, we have listed 13 countries' documents. So this subcommittee and the drafting committee looked at all those documents which are in public domain, which includes from EU, which includes from USA, Australia, Brazil, South Africa, Israel, all these documents which are in public domain. This subcommittee had a very, very thorough and detailed understanding of that. So we had seen that EU Act is on one side, which is quite prescriptive. Other side we had the very light-handed, if I can call, a US Act, which is more focusing on the you know, industry-led innovation, and the more light touch to that. What we have done is we have looked at all of this, and our approach has been in the middle ground. We have been aware of the possible risks, but at the same time we have not following control and command policy.
Okay.
So this is what we took into account, and many countries which I mentioned in the document which we have referred, some of them are what we are saying, and some of them are on the other two sides. So ours is I could call middle path. But one thing I must say, these guidelines are not written in stone. It will be a very dynamic thing. If at some stage it is realized that something needs to be done, these guidelines allow that.
So it's like flexible.
It's a flexible guideline. These are not regulations. I want to make it again myself very clear. We are not making the regulations here, because regulations can be formed based on these guidelines.
Absolutely.
But these are guidelines, and we have tried to see how we balance it. And many countries which I mentioned are in the similar framework, and we have tried to be inclusive.
Okay.
So that's something we have taken a balanced approach for AI governance.
So basically India has taken a middle path, a balanced approach.
Yeah, which covers our strategic priorities.
Okay.
But it also looks at the risks and how do we, what is our strategy for handling. Because in the governance document, you will see there is a whole chapter on risk governance.
Right.
And that risk governance will have many features. It's a technical process. There can be one thing which Honorable Prime Minister mentioned in his remarks in Paris, the techno-legal framework.
Okay.
We can talk about it when we come, because India has learnt a lot from our DPI, Digital Public Infrastructure. We have learnt a lot actually. So there we have enabled techno-legal framework. What it means is we need a technology architecture which will embed the legal laws.
Okay. So we will talk about the legal laws later in the show. But sir, on the day of this unveiling of these guidelines, you had mentioned that AI strategy can become a reference model for the global south. So when you had mentioned that, what is it about India's approach that particularly you think resonates with the developing nations?
Correct. See, the point is, first thing, what does AI need? AI needs compute resources.
Right.
It needs data, and then it needs inferencing. Now, global south has challenges for accessing compute infrastructure. It's not like what you have in the Western countries, which will be having billions of dollar investment and all. So what we are showing in this, like in the AI mission, we have really made a very model system. How do you overcome constraints, resource constraints, by making compute available to our people? This is a model for global south. Because we have enabled that. We already have now almost 40,000 GPU worth of compute available with private and government support available. Government has enabled that.
Right.
This is one model, this thing. Other one, which is extraordinarily important, is the data.
Okay.
AI runs on learning from the data. Now, data is what? What is in the public domain, that data has already been scrapped by all the big players. They have trained their model. But that is not all, because there is a personal data. That personal data on medical thing, on the agriculture data and so on is not in public domain. India has made AI Kosh in the AI mission, which has about 600 data sets and models which have been developed, have put in the data Kosh. That is again a model for Global South. How do you really monetize your data? Because as you know, we have DEPA Act and we have the DPDP Act. This is what the empowerment is actually. So all this which we have learnt from our previous experience in DPI will be useful for AI, and Global South, which is usually restrained by all the resources, but they are extraordinarily rich in data. They are extraordinarily rich in their heritage data. They are extraordinarily rich in their cultural diversity, like India.
Right.
India has a huge cultural diversity.
Of course.
Language diversity, which will not be possible in only English language. All this.
We have built Bhashini
under that.
Yes.
Few years back. But that will be available in all 27 languages in this mission.
Right.
And it will be also available across many languages in the world. So what I am trying to say, you need to use your strength. What is our strength? Very, very high quality data. That data is not in public domain.
Right.
So we need to enable, we need to make a process where the data can be utilized in a very ethical manner, privacy conserving, and it should be monetized.
Okay.
And
for the public good.
And for the public good. So this is our guiding principle, and Global South has similar issues.
Right.
So I am saying this AI summit which you mentioned a few minutes ago is actually the first one in Global South. In February 2026 is the first one in Global South. So we will actually be setting a example and can be a role model for Global South.
Definitely, and I think India's AI framework provides exactly the blueprint the Global South needs.
Absolutely.
And so you have often mentioned that policy isn't enough on its own. You need to implement it properly. Your journey also from Vigyan to Vigyan Bhavan is like, it reflects the evolution from ideas to execution. So, sir, how will you ensure that this AI governance guidelines are actually put into action, than remaining only a policy document?
Yeah, so this will be an ongoing process, because it's, as we said, we are not really regulating it.
Right.
So what we are saying is lot of it can be voluntarily done, because we are in constant dialogue with the industries and academia. Right. So that is one approach which will be taken. Second, we have to somehow see that we learn from our experience in DPI.
Okay.
Like the way we did UPI, we did Aadhaar, we enabled the transactions, secure transactions, all this was done again through techno-legal mechanisms.
Okay.
Question is, can we learn from that and do that for AI? Which means, can we have a global data sharing policy using the experience of what I said in a techno-legal framework, or anything which can build on that. Techno-legal is one framework.
Right.
The people can come out always with some variant of it. But it should not be, everything human has to allow yes and no. Okay. It cannot do.
Oh,
it's
yes,
not scalable.
Of course.
It's not scalable.
Right.
We need to find that. And it should be having all the right contracts and so on. So we will learn from that. So it will be voluntarily, to sum up what I wanted to say. At the same time, we will bring in techno-legal framework to make sure that the legal rules or legal obligations are taken into technology right from the beginning, right from the developer, deployer and user.
Okay. So, sir, do you think that a standalone AI legislation is inevitable in the future?
We have debated on this actually. The committee has debated quite intensely on this when they made these guidelines, and the considered view is that right now we do not need.
Okay.
If you look at our governance policy, which I would like to show here, it is on the website,
Right.
our mighty website, our Office of PSA website and so on. It indicates what are the existing laws which are actually applicable for AI related things. Supposing you have this deep fake, misinformation,
Right.
already there are laws on that. And in this BNS, Bharat Nyaya Sanhita,
Right.
there are laws which can take care of that.
Okay.
There are the privacy laws, DPDP Act I said,
Right.
DEPA thing. All our sense is that right now we don't need it, but we are not closing all the doors. We are saying when it is needed. Secretary Mighty very clearly said on the day of release of this document, government will not hesitate
in bringing
that. He made it very clear on the opening day,
right,
that right now we don't need, but if it is wanting in something as we learn,
according to the needs,
because we have to realize that it's extraordinarily fast moving.
Exactly.
I mean, there is a debate going on, right? If somebody commits a suicide because the AI model, coaxed something and all, who is responsible and all? It's still not a settled question.
Right.
Right? So, we will have to learn as we go along. It's a technology in the making.
Okay.
And it is a disruptive technology.
Absolutely. So, sir, as we try to, balance out between the advantages and disadvantages, what are some of the misconceptions about this AI governance that you would like to allay for us?
See, one thing, it's not only in the governance, people are always talking of the job loss.
Yeah, that is something very important.
Very important, which now I would say the following. This job loss, some of the job losses will be there which were routine, which could be taken care by AI. But with every technology this happens. When the computers came in operation in more in after 1990, there was a fear that we will lose lot of jobs, which because we were doing by manually, but it created large number of other jobs.
Absolutely.
So
I think it's complemented.
Exactly. Yeah. Every technology will do that. Now, if you are doing a routine job, obviously AI will come in place. But human beings have to be inventive, to be one up. So AI, my own sense is, it is a technology which is assistive. Okay. It's not standalone. It will assist you. And we have to make sure that human beings are always in the loop. So that's something important. So that is the fear which many people have, and I would say that this is something which is completely handleable.
Okay.
Second fear is whether it will really dig into my privacy and all. Now again there you have to make sure what model it is, how the model has been trained, and that is why when we talk of biases, all these models which are there, they might have been trained on the data which is not, let's say, India centric,
right,
our culture, our Sanskriti and so on. If you get an answer which is very harsh because it has not been trained, that is the problem of training. That is why we need our own LLM, sovereign LLM.
Right.
We need to make sure that India's ethos, cultural diversity, language diversity, food diversity, all that are taken into account. So that fear can be allayed in terms of biasing.
So, sir, coming from you, it's a lot of assurance for the people. And so my last question is that when you look ahead, like maybe by 2030, what kind of AI world you want India to build?
See, what I would like is it should be a very safe world.
Okay.
AI should be deployed in a very safe manner. It should not really be harmful to any community or any set of public. That is the first and foremost thing.
Okay.
It should take our economy to the much higher level. It cannot be just for sake of fashion. It has to make a difference in lives of people. When we use it in agriculture, it has to result in more productivity. It has to result in less fertilizer. When we use in healthcare, it has to make sure that healthcare reaches to all, and AI should enable that. Similarly in finance sector and so on. Now in future, as I don't know how much future, this is what time will tell because it's evolving. Could be in next 3 years we could be talking of artificial general intelligence.
Okay.
Which will build on the existing AI models. So artificial general intelligence or artificial super intelligence, whatever you want to call it, it will like to achieve the intelligence of human beings, which means it should be able to argue and it should really make possible what is really how do you articulate logic and so on. That will be a next phase of AI.
Okay.
So my feeling is India has to start working on AGI.
Okay.
There are efforts, but it has to be scaled up. Around the world, this is the talk that AGI is not science fiction. AGI, we need to be serious. Maybe we may have to launch another mission on AGI, whatever, I don't know, but that will be the future. So what I am trying to say is it's not a closed chapter of innovation.
I think it's just the beginning.
It is just a beginning.
Right.
And India should be totally geared up, which we are, and enormous support from our leadership, from our Honorable Prime Minister.
Definitely. As our Prime Minister always says, AI for all.
AI for all.
AI for
and
all.
And that is the theme.
Definitely. And as Prime Minister Modi highlights that India's AI vision rests on 3 pillars: equitable access, population scale skilling and responsible deployment. And these new AI governance guidelines reflect a decisive shift in mindset. By putting trust, fairness and safety at the core, India is positioning itself not just to adopt AI but to lead the global conversation on its future. With that, it's a wrap on this special episode. Mr. Sood, thank you so much for taking out time and talking to us and offering such thoughtful insights on this topic. And to our viewers, thank you for your time as well. Stay tuned and keep watching Sunset TV.
To watch more programs of Sunset TV, subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to like and share them.